fancy dancing.
Well, hang on, you know DaniEllisVision?
So yesterday I saw The Greatest Showman, and I was really excited going into it, despite the fact that it had mixed reviews. I adore movie musicals, so I thought that maybe these people were put off by people singing and dancing. I don't know. So I went in without a skeptic's mind. In fact, I was very excited about it and was looking forward to it and hoping that I was going to see something that was going to make me feel some type of way. And it did! It made me feel some way, for sure. Some very disturbing kind of way. I wanted to talk about it because I had some thoughts, quite a few. This is not really a review of the movie as it is kind of just like a dump of what I thought about it very quickly. I didn't organize this. I just had some feelings. My first feeling was I didn't particularly like it at all. I didn't enjoy it very much, and I thought it was very weird. Some of my favorite movies are Phantom of the Opera, Moulin Rouge, Hello Dolly. But this was an unfortunate travesty. It was bad. It was bad. It was weird. And it was bad. It wasn't like disgustingly terrible, but it was just really cringy. I was cringing all over the place, and it was just strange. It made me feel uncomfortable. It made me look at the person next to me like this, who I knew. The person I went with, I was looking at a stranger like that. That too. If you go to a movie and you're looking at a stranger like, maybe it wasn't the best movie. It was just a cringe fest from the beginning is really the best way to describe it. Also, this is a big Hollywood blockbuster with serious choreographers and a lot of money, I'm imagining, being put into these dance numbers. Why did it look like the weirdest, worst flash mob that I would see at like my local mall?
Put your paws up, 'cause you were born this way, baby.
Okay, no, that's unfair to say like the worst, because if I saw this in real life, it would be a really good flash mob. I'd be like, damn, they put a lot of work into that flash mob. But seeing it in a movie, I was like,
ooh, but that's just a flash mob though.
Felt like 7 ninth graders came up with the moves, and they were like, yeah, this is so good. I've seen this at other places, but I'm gonna repeat it right now. Why are we celebrating a man who essentially exploited people and their deformities in order to gain profit for himself? Putting that out there. And the whole thing was, if they were supposed to be like bringing light to people's humanity despite their deformities and despite their differences, why were they just putting them on display to be laughed at as like a curiosity showcase? They weren't like, meet the bearded lady and have a conversation with her and realize that she has hopes and dreams and believes in God just like everybody else. But instead it's like, watch this bearded lady and laugh and have a good time and leave happy. It wasn't showing me any empathy for the people, which I think was what the whole point of the movie was trying to say. Like, no, I'm P.T. Barnum and I'm giving these people careers that they wouldn't ordinarily have. True, but you're giving them careers being laughed at. So, I mean, they are getting paid, but they are probably feeling like about themselves still. But I guess I don't know. This movie just kind of brought a different light to that than, say, The Elephant Man. If you've seen that movie, it made freak show curiosity life look horrible, miserable, and like slavery, essentially, to the big boss Bailey man. And this movie, they were like, we didn't have a voice until we found you. We didn't have anywhere to go until we found you. True, but they were still hidden away, not being accepted by society, and being treated like they were less than human, which I thought was like the whole point of what his circus was meant to do, which in fact it just ostracized them further because it made them curiosity acts, and I don't know, I thought it was stupid. So these are my problems with the plot of the movie. Also, problem with the plot of the movie is I thought the whole Zendaya Zac Efron thing was just so poorly done. Watching interviews with Zendaya, and I think she's really cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with her. I'm also not a really big fan of her, but she seems like a really cool, just genuine, honest, down-to-earth person. Is that who she is or her persona? How the hell do I know? But she seems like that. And I've seen a lot of interviews of her on TV, and she's like, it's a courageous story about a love that wasn't supposed to be, and they had to fight for. And I also went into the movie like, okay, this is going to be like an interracial love story that's going to be like defying the times, but I thought that they portrayed it really poorly. At the very beginning, when they seemingly didn't mentioned the fact until they were going to see the Queen that there was any problems with her being a person of color. I thought that this was maybe meant to take place in an alternate universe where these issues didn't necessarily exist. Disney does this sometimes in their newer movies, that they want to integrate people of all colors and not have to worry about that this was a time when this wouldn't be happening and that it wasn't realistic. So I guess I don't know if my opinion is as valuable as somebody who actually is black and has gone through these experiences. So I'm curious to know, in movies, would you rather that they brought up and highlighted every struggle that had to be overcame, or would you rather that sometimes they just said, no, this is a place where this didn't happen? But I feel like that almost is trivializing what people actually had to go to in order for these things to be true. And some people might say that they're not even gone to this day. The time this was taking place, I don't think Zac Efron's biggest fear would be seen holding hands with her at the theater by his parents. I think it would have been a lot worse. I think there probably would have been fear of death and rioting and a lot worse protests than people protesting free. So I thought that if they weren't highlighting that, they weren't highlighting what a triumph it was and how courageous you had to be to do it. They were essentially saying that Zac Efron's biggest problem was being found out by his parents. It could have been a much more triumphant story had they actually had to overcome obstacles and he wasn't just embarrassed, which is trivializing the whole thing, because it was so much more than that, and there was a lot more that had to be done and gone through and put at stake. It wasn't going to change in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and the 60s, 70s, and to this day. I just thought in pretending that it was just not that big of a deal, lessening the importance of the story and lessening the importance of what that would have actually meant. So that just annoyed me. I thought it was stupid, and I was looking forward more to not their struggle, but just to see like an actual love story overcoming something, and not just him being like, oh, I guess I'm not embarrassed to show you to my parents anymore. Like, okay, that's your biggest problem. That's why I don't think that this movie, like, did this take place in some sort of alternate universe, like in the Twilight Zone? Also, there was so much unnecessary CGI. It was a CGI cringe fest of epic proportions. That's what this circus was. A circus of CGI cringiness. I get you want to make these dance numbers look so cool, and you want to make Zac Efron's flips look otherworldly, but it just looks like because it doesn't look real at all. Like, people flipping is like, oh, okay, that's a computer. People galloping around on a horse, okay, that's a computer. Literally looks like shit. Like, am I the only one who thinks this? I kind of have a problem with computer animation, but like not a huge one. Are there ever gonna be real things anymore in movies? Like, are we ever just gonna have someone actually dance? There were a lot of parts that were obviously not done because they couldn't be, but it takes me out of it because it looks so fake and unreal. I would rather see like a miniature 3D model, because that would almost look more real to me. I don't know, maybe that's just the movie purist in me. So that's up for debate. I don't know, what's the point of all of this if there's no actors and it's really just floating heads around on green screen? Meh. This is my most organized video yet. I also thought the songs were not memorable at all. I hated all the songs that they created in the movie. They were all so like poppy songs, but not ones that I liked, and I thought they sounded like crap. Like, I just wanted to hear like real musical, and I guess maybe that's where I differ from the general public. See, do my opinions matter? Because obviously everything I want doesn't dictate success, clearly. So my overall opinion was I didn't really like it. I mean, it wasn't horrifyingly boring, but it also wasn't really entertaining. I was kind of like, oh god, when is this going to be over? And the songs were creeping me out. I just didn't like it at all. So whereas this really isn't like an in-depth review, I wanted to do like actually an in-depth analysis, and I was deciding between two different movies, so I would love your feedback. Would you rather see me do an in-depth analysis of Get Out, which is a little bit older, which I loved, or Mother, which is quite a bit newer, which I hated? So I thought they both had like a lot of really interesting underlying themes and text going on that weren't necessarily so blatant in your face. Please let me know in the comments, would you rather hear me talk about Get Out, an in-depth analysis, or Mother, an in-depth analysis? Please let me know. I could do both, but it's not going to be like this. It's actually going to be, researched a little bit and prepared, so it will require a little bit of time. So let me know which one you'd be more interested in seeing, and go see the world's greatest showman. That's $9.50 you're never going to get back.
DaniEllisVision. What?